A warm welcome to everyone. I'm Haripriya, Assistant Professor, Department of Costume Design and Fashion, and I'm going to present a video on fashion illustration. So in this video, we are going to see about at last video we have seen about collars and garment features. So in this video, we are going to see about pocket and yoke variations. So those things has been discussed in this video. So, introduction to yokes. The construction of yoke pattern involves some cutting up and important elements in the designing. The front and back are divided or cut up into two sections, a yoke and lower part. The lower part under the yoke can be easy fitting, close fitting or full, and can have gathers, tucks, smokings, gorgings and different kinds of pleats, folds and even draped effects. So first, and a different part, there is two parts in that. It has two portions, a front one and back portion. In a shirt we have seen in that is in the back part, and it is fully covered with your shoulder. It is called as in a yoke. And in women's garment it has two portions. It will be from bust line or to waist. It was cutted into two portions. It is yoke. The lower part of the yoke, that is from the after the yoke we can have different styles. That is, one is can be for mainly for fitting. It is close fitting or fullness, and it can have gathers. We can have gathers or a tucks, like small pleats, like it is called as tucks, and smoking patterns. Smoking is full of box patterns, or we can create different patterns. Next one is gauging and different kinds of pleats. So we can create different pleats: box pleat, pinch pleat, knife pleat, inverted pleat. There are different types of pleats, so we can use different pleats. And fold, so that we can create folds, and even draped effect, so we can create draping effect through using this yoke portions. So the definition of the yoke is, a yoke is a segment of a garment usually placed at the shoulder and above the waistline or a midriff, or below the waistline at hip. So it is from the shoulder to waistline or to at hip. Those can be differentiated. These are two types of basic types of yoke. So there are two types. One is midriff and another one is partial. So there are two types of yokes. So we are going to see about midriff. It is referred to as a trousseau or waist yoke and is good device for securing fullness over the bust and provides a smooth and trim fitting around the waistline. So in this image we can clearly see from the shoulder to the above the chest line, it is a midriff yoke. Next one is partial yoke, a yoke which does not extend across the entire garment. It is called as partial yoke. So from the shoulder to the waistline it is comes under, it is a partial yoke. So those two types are types of yokes. So yokes, it is used in these, they are used for controlling and supporting the fullness needed over the bust, chest and hip portions. So it is mainly used to control the over fullness under bust, in for women we call it as bust, and chest for men, and hip, etc. To keep the upper area of the waistline of the garment trim and smooth. So to make a garment to be feels to be good and seems to be good, it is feels and seems. So both are done using those yokes. For decorative, may not have any fullness. So if particularly it don't have any fullness as a decorative purpose. The depth of the yoke is usually established by the reference of the CF line and not the armhole, and it is marks under the portion of the CF length, that is full length. Balance marks have to be drawn across the yoke line to fix the portion and the fullness under the yoke. The yoke design listed on the garment depends on the various factors. So same as seems to be in the collar, so how a garment has been planned, like that the yoke has to be planned. First one is the design of the fabric. So how the design, that what is the design it is seams in the fabric. Next, design of the garment, how the garment has been depends upon, is it is an functional wear or it is an aesthetic wear, so or it is in a casual wear. So based on the design of the garment. Next, purpose and use of the garment, so where the garment has been going to be wear and it is any particular purpose or any uses, there should be mentioned, it is should be verified. Next, sex and age of the wearer, so if it is a woman, how it seems to be, if it is a man, how it seems to be, so we have to know about that, and what is the age of the wearer, so we have to know about it. Next, the figure and personal of the wearer, so personality, so how the wearer seems to be, is he or she is in a correct height, or he or she is too tall or too short or too stout figure. So based on the figure types we have to plan the yokes. Next one is creating varieties of the yokes in the yoke designs, varieties of shapes and size. The yokes can be designed with the various shapes such as square, round, straight lines, scalloped, triangular, asymmetrical or panel. The yoke part of a yoke may be extended to the full length of the garment. Sometimes the yoke may be extended to the sleeve, or it to be made external and any part of the way across the garment or in the partial yoke. So where it can be used and where it can be seems to be, so based on the size and shape of the garment has to be mentioned. Next, varieties in the materials and the grains. So grain lines has to be mentioned. The grain line is straight grain or cross grain. So if it is a straight grain, it is somewhat to be stiff and rough. So we have to use a flexible grain for yoke portions. Designing as a decorative seaming. So how we can use the seams in a decorative form. So it has to be mentioned clearly. Next one is creating varieties in the yoke designs. Designing the fullness decoration with the yoke. The yoke can be quilted, embroidered, shirred and smoked and tucked or pleated. So those things are decorative purpose. So those can be done with a decorative one. Introducing the yokes in different positions on the garment. The yoke can be may be differentiated at the top of the dress and bottom of the waist and below the waistline or hip line, or created in the partially called partially yoke. So where we need, we can create it. It is those things can be creating a varieties in the yoke design. Next one is pockets. The pockets are generally mainly or a utilitarian purpose rather than the decoration. So the pockets are not mainly for decoration purpose, it is mainly for utilization purpose. The chief purpose of the pockets in women clothing is to add design interested. They should be planned giving considerable attention to the design of the dress and figures of the wearer. So how it was used and how it should be planned, those things has to be maintained. Next one is appearance of the children's garment can be enhanced to a great extent for the designing pockets of a varied shapes. So how the shapes can be, if it is a formal, how it the shapes to be, if it is in a casual, how the shapes to be, if it is a coat, the pocket shapes to be good, and if it is a bound pocket, how the length should be. So those things to be carefully maintained and carefully seen. Shapes and sizes on the location with the decorative details such as a bias binding, laces, ruffles and tucks, pleats, up pleats, embroidery. In particular pockets we can have an embroidery as a decorative, or to be emphasize the pocket and the top of that. So we can create a different feel on that pocket. Types of pocket: applied pocket, structural pocket and inserted pocket. So there are three types of pockets are there. Applied pocket, as a name indicates, these types of pockets are sewn into the garment usually with a top stitching and patch pockets. Pleated patch pockets with a flap and bellow pockets. Structural pockets for an integral type parts of the design. So those things are mainly for applied pockets. It is all different types. So inserted pocket it's a slash in the garment, and welt bound pockets, it is inside, it not seems to be an open view, it can be inbuilt in the garments. So set in pocket, the types of pocket is inside the garment with a slash of some type of opening. There are three types of set in pockets: bound, welt and flap. So there are three bound pockets. It is mainly seen in a men's garment. In a men's pleated trouser we can see it in a back portion, or if you are using a purse or a bag we can see it will having a different pockets. Pockets, so this seems to be like this. Any pockets or a type which is opening falls along the seam line with a garment is referred to as a pocket set in as a seam. So it is set inbuilt inside. So those things are mainly considered in the pockets. So in this video we have seen about the pockets and the yokes. So how the pockets has been used, and what are all the purpose of the pockets, and what are all the types of the pockets. And the last that we have shown about yokes, what are all the types of yokes and where it seems and where it was used. Those things are mainly discussed in this video. So we'll continue with the next video. Thank you.